Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bobber Testimonial. We have a few more people this time on the podcast. We have Frederick, which is our IoT engineer. Hi, Frederick.
Hello, everybody.
And of course, we have our special guest speaker today, Adoni. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Adoni, do you want to tell us a bit more about yourself?
Okay, so you may know me as Xullien from the Discord, and my real name is Adoni, and I'm in IT. I worked as an IT, and that's about it. There's not much. I live in France, and I'm interested in the network, and it's because of Fred that I got in all the IoT things of the network.
Yeah. You're pretty famous on Discord, especially on our Discord, because you're pretty much single-handedly sort of organizing things and making it like a really fun place for everybody. So we really appreciate it. And the reason that how we decided to get together and do this episode today is also that you shared a really surprising experience on Discord the other day, also in the Helium Discord as well as ours. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I woke up in the morning like I usually do around 8 or 7:30, and I check my messages and I see that my mapper moved. So I was like, maybe it's just a bug. I didn't really take much into it, so I didn't look into it. I said, it's normal, it can happen. So the day go on and I had to leave. So I go out and the car isn't here. So I think maybe my mother took it because now she's here and there's my sister who's sick and she also goes to see her. So I go inside the house, I call her and she answers me. And I'm like, where's the car? And she tells me that she doesn't know, she didn't touch it since last week. And I tell her, okay, so it's stolen.
You always have the mapper in your car?
Yes, I always have the mapper in my car at all times. I always leave it in the car, so wherever I go to work or to my sister or to wherever I go, I just map around Paris, and I've already mapped most of Paris and all around the other places. So I don't know what to do this now. I called the police and I'm like, I would like to report that my car has been stolen. And they tell me to go to the police station. So I go there and everything. And the police is filing the report and he tells me, can you tell me where it can be, or if you know how we can know at least where it is? And I'm like, yeah, I have the coordinates of the GPS that I have inside my car. And I show it to him. I send him the coordinates and he puts it in Google, and it turns out it's on his street. It's really close to my house, like not even a kilometer and a half away from my house. And he tells me, okay, and I go check it out. Like he sends a patrol, a scouting police car, and they tell me 10 minutes later that they found the car. And this is how we found the car after I told them about the GPS data. And
wow.
That's it.
Were they surprised when you were able to give such an accurate GPS coordinates to them?
Well, at first the police asked me if I used the Apple AirTags to locate the car. I told them no, I have something a little bigger, and it's a bit more precise because of the GPS data that I can get straight. And when I got the car back, I took the mapper out of the car and I came back to the police station and I showed it to him, and he was like, Jesus, it's so huge, how didn't I see it? Because it's like this big and it's hidden behind the dashboard, so they couldn't see it, but it's there. And I showed it to him and I showed him that it's DIY, so everything is us made. And he was really impressed. I talked to him about the network, and that's it. So he was interested in the network and how it works and everything. So maybe also the police can join us in these adventures.
The GPS coordinates, do you have, I think you posted the images in Discord.
I'm gonna share this.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how it is, and those were GPS points. So this is where the car was found. It was here, here, it was here. So I just sent them this to the police, like the coordinates. You can see the coordinates here, and I just sent it to them, and they went there, and that's it.
Do you think maybe this is also the place where future stolen cars will be showing up, and you kind of unknowingly discovered a spot where people just abandon stolen cars after they have stolen the inside?
Well, it wasn't really abandoned because it was in plain sight. It was between buildings, and it was right in front of Lidl. They did steal all my tools inside. They stole some other stuff.
What's the uplink interval? Because they were basically seeing the routes that the car went through. Like,
Yeah.
how often was the GPS data being
Well,
sent?
maybe Fred could answer this question more because this is his code. And
Yeah, I think it's so when I did like the mapper and tracking devices, I was based from a mapping software. So it's like geared towards like showing the Helium network coverage. So what I wanted to do is like make an asset tracking device. So the software I built was more geared towards asset trackings and especially like car tracking. So it's not sending like a time-based. It's sending depending on the distance from the last point. So I did this code at some point with HKiko from the Discord. So I had this idea, okay, instead of sending every like 20 seconds, why not send if you like made a little bit of a distance since the last point, so you avoid like sending a lot of data, which is useless because it's always the same place. Right now, I think I capped it so it doesn't send more than every 10 seconds. But since the car was in a fast movement, we can see it's about 10 seconds. So we get like a really clean view of the movement, but that at the same time, we don't like pollute the airwave with useless data.
So you're saying that basically if the car does not move, then it does not send more than like one time. And as soon as the car moves and based on the distance, there's like a minimum threshold. Once it hits that minimum threshold, then you will let it keep sending coordinates. What is
Exactly.
the minimum threshold?
Exactly. And when it stops moving, it also sends a message to signal the movement has stopped. And when there is like a vibration or movement detection, you also get a different message to show you, okay, the car is moving right now. So we can even see from the data points and the timestamps how long it took the thieves to get the car moving from the moment they break in. I think Adoni can tell us about that.
Yeah. So about this, just 1 second, I'm gonna pull up the diagram. When did I say the car? Okay.
What's the minimum like distance the car has to move in order for the uplink to happen?
I think it's 20 meters, but
Okay.
it's like you can put whatever value you want. But
Okay.
I did 20 meters, and it's enough to also avoid like a fake movement because sometimes the GPS says, okay, it's you are at this location, but it's like drifting slowly, you know. So you have to
Right.
make sure it's long enough to avoid like sending useless messages. And even with that system, you still get one or two useless data points, but it's not like a big deal compared to like thousands of data points in the same place
Yeah.
because with like the really basic trackers, that's what you get. They
Yeah.
don't even go to sleep. They just keep on sending.
Yeah.
And with this system, with the vibration sensor, we can also save a lot of power because when the car is not moving, it's like just sending one message every 10, 20 minutes. Okay, I exist. The battery is at this status. You don't have to worry about the battery going low because you can monitor it. I even like on my last iterations, I even added like a temperature sensor, so I know which temperature is in the car. So I think it's great that we got this real life experience from Adoni. It's like because I remember a couple of days before he got his car stolen. We were talking about the state of the network, and Adoni was like, okay, it's great, but at the same time, it's not really useful, you know. It's like, okay, the money boxes are not giving me more money, so it's not useful. But a few days later, it's like, okay, you got proved wrong by the because thanks to the network, because the packets which helped Adoni recover his car with the help of the police were transmitted by some other people, some other hotspots. It wasn't just his hotspot, it was like all the hotspots around which help recover the asset, you know. So
Do you
it's
have
amazing. It's
a
amazing.
rough number, like how many hotspots actually received the packets and helped?
Yeah, we have the numbers. Yeah,
I'm gonna share it now.
Okay.
So this is the Telegram, and basically this is when they first moved the car. So it's at 4:11 in the morning. A few minutes later, here it just stops after 15 minutes, and it goes back. It goes to sleep because there was no movement, and just like Fred explained, that after a while it goes back to sleep when there's no movement. So they stayed in the car for 40 minutes before actually turning it on. So at 4:53, the vibration got detected again, so the car started moving. Lots of other hotspots actually were picking up the mapper. So when they stopped, it was around where is it here? They stopped at 5:11, so they got to their destination at 5:11, and we found the car at 12:52. So this is when we found the car, and here you can see it picked up both of my hotspots, and it's not even like 7 hours later we found the car because of the network. This is set up inside the console, because you can set up how many hotspots can hear the mapper at any time. So you can set up one hotspot or multiple hotspots at the same time. So if you put it at unlimited, all the hotspots that can hear it will report back that they heard it. And the more that you put, the more DC you spend. So also you have to know how much DC you want to spend and how much you want to have redundancy with other hotspots that can report back your mapper.
Basically, these hotspot owners helped you recover your car, and they were just basically reporting for you. Oh, that's really cool. And this one got more than 10.
Yeah, it got 11.
They found a digital way to get your car from you, but you found another digital way to get the car back. So it's like hacking wars, you know.
Yeah, that's very well said. How much can you show us the tracker again, and how much did it cost for you guys to build the tracker?
Well, this is the tracker. Inside there's the cube cell. We got it from AliExpress. It goes for around 25 to 30 euros. And you can also get the custom GPS antenna. So you can also get them for pretty cheap. And this is also an antenna that I got from AliExpress. Any antenna that is LoRaWAN, so everything that's 868 megahertz, or for US that's 915 and everything.
To sum it up, because you didn't say the total cost, it's under 50 euro. Yeah. So approximately $50 is enough to get started with the cube cell. You don't even have to get all the fancy like antenna and fancy GPS and LoRa antenna. You can just use the basic antenna. You just need like a battery. But ideally, you want to add a vibration sensor, which we added. It costs pretty much nothing. You just have to know how to solder it and everything. But the cost is really, really low. It's like the barrier of entry is really low to use Helium. If you are inside any big city, you don't even have to own a hotspot. All you have to do is put like a little bit of money. Obviously, right now, it's not like if like everybody and their grandmother is going to do this. You have to be like some kind of IT guy, but it's not complicated. When you get the hang of it, you do your first device and then it flows from there. You can experiment and do all sorts of cool stuff with the Helium network.
Yeah, it sounds like one is that it overall costs about 50 euros, and then the most important components is probably the vibration as well as the GPS components. So that with the vibration, this is what you make the sensor able to only report based on distance instead of based on a set interval.
Yeah, exactly. With the vibration sensor, you are able to sleep the device when it's not moving and automatically wake it up. Even with the smallest movement, we can detect. So even like someone who is going to try to move around stuff in your car, it is going to detect immediately.
50 euros altogether for a sensor that helps you recover your car. This is really an excellent use case for the Helium network.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
now
yeah. I wanted to say the whole point of LoRaWAN is to bring the cost down. So it's always about you can do all these things with like a 4G or 5G LTE tracker, but it's going to cost you a lot more money. It's going to use a lot more battery, and it's going to not be as efficient in terms of energy and everything. So when you think about it, if all the big cities are covered, nothing is going to stop us to implement this kind of tracking devices in all sorts of smaller devices, even like rental bikes and everything. You can imagine so much like use cases for this. That's what I like about Helium and LoRaWAN. It's a network for everybody. You don't have to like take a business account, do complicated paperwork to get into the network. You just open the console from the Helium account, and then you can add devices and get started. What I hope to see is like more professional LoRaWAN companies and everything moving into the Helium system, so everybody can benefit from a worldwide network. So we don't have to like everybody uses his own small network. We can like share the best network in the world. And now with the professionals, we can have like the best of everything, like the reliability and also the worldwide coverage. That's what I'm hoping for in the future.
The reward comes from the tokens for sure, but I think it is maybe equally, if not more rewarding an experience once you use this network to build, and then you build a project and you see that it is a working solution or product. And not only that, the next step is that this product actually becomes a solution for you and solves a real problem for you. And in this case, actually saved a lot of money for Adoni. So this is an excellent example. Do you guys have any plans for like future projects or anything fun to build on the Helium network?
Yeah, I have like too much projects, so I think we don't have enough time. But I'm going to show the next upcoming balloon, which is super capacitor based, no lithium,
Is
and
that a
with
solar
like
panel?
yeah, it's a solar panel and it's like a sheet of paper. It weighs pretty much nothing, you know, and it's even you can bend it, so it's
This
like it weighs like less than 20 grams.
this
And
is
this one is
definitely
going
a
to
much more
fly.
advanced version. This
Yeah,
one
this one
is
is going to fly soon, but maybe I am going to wait for more sunshine because it's like right now we don't have like a lot of sunshine. The idea with this one is it's going to like maybe circle the Earth many times before it drops, but it's like ideally. But right now I'm pretty hopeful we can like make one day a sensor which will circle around the Earth. Maybe not this one, but later. The only issue usually with this experiment is the battery is running out. With this sensor, you don't have to think about the battery because there is no battery. There is just a little capacitor which like stores the energy from the solar panel and directly give it to the sensor.
that will be really cool. Reminds me of the movie Around the World in 80 Days. This one will be Around the World in 80 Days on the Helium network. Well, thank you so much, guys, for this excellent episode. It was also thank you for sharing your roller coaster experience with us,
thank you for having
Adoni.
me.
We're going to maybe put some of your like wallet link in the description if anybody wants to donate to you so that you can buy more like tools for like whatever that was stolen in your car. Maybe that can help you recover some of the loss. Thank you again, everybody, for joining this episode. It was a very educational and entertaining learning experience for me, and I also hope that our audience enjoyed this one.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye.
Thank you.
See you
Bye-bye.
around. Bye.